Why care about this now? Because the United States and China are still the two biggest economies, and they are also the two largest carbon emitters. When they stop talking, the effects do not stay inside one dispute. They spill into trade, energy, technology, and climate policy. At MIT, former U.S. Ambassador to China Nicholas Burns argued that the relationship is competitive, tough, and adversarial. But he also made a narrower point that matters right now, even inside that rivalry. Diplomacy still has work to do. His case is not that the tensions are fading. It is that some problems are too leave unmanaged. Climate change is one of them. So this is really a question about whether the two countries can keep competing without cutting off the channels that help prevent wire damage. Burns describes the relationship in blunt terms: competitive, tough, and adversarial. He points to four main arenas of competition: military power, technology, trade and economics, and values. That framing matters because it sets limits on what diplomacy can realistically do. He is not describing a partnership. He is describing a rivalry that has to be managed. Trade is one of the clearest examples. He noted the very high tariffs exchanged in 2025, with the United States at one point imposing 145% and China a 125%. In his telling, tariffs at that level would grind the relationship down and could have pushed trade towards always sustained. So the tension is not abstract. It's inside real policy choices that affect markets, supply chains, and political trust. That is the setting in which any cooperation has to survive. For Burns, climate is one of the few areas where engagement is still plainly necessary. His logic is simple. The United States and China are the largest carbon emitters in the world, so progress is harder if either side tries to act as if the other does not exist. He says they need to work with each other for the good of both countries. But the article also shows why this is complicated. China leads in important clean energy manufacturing and processing, including rare earth elements used in lithium batteries, solar panels, and electric vehicles. At the same time, Burns points to China's continued use of coal as a striking inconsistency. So climate cooperation does not mean alignment on every policy. It means dealing with a shared problem while both sides still compete over the industries tied to the energy transition. That is a narrow but important form of diplomacy. Burns also places technology at the center of the competition. He names artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and biotechnology as leading fields. His point is not just about invention. It is also about adoption, industrial process, and the ability to connect technology with policy. That is where he sees China as especially capable of adapting quickly. He also praises China's emphasis on education, especially in STEM, citing figures from The Economist. He contrasts 36% of Chinese first-year university students majoring in STEM fields with 5% in the United States, whether one agrees with the comparison or not. His message is clear: the scale of Chinese technical training matters for long-term competition. This helps explain why diplomacy is harder than a simple climate dialogue. The same relationship that needs cooperation on emissions is also a contest over talent, industry, and strategic advantage. Burns ends with a very practical argument. The test is whether the United States and China can protect their interests while avoiding the worst outcomes that their power makes possible. That is why he calls for more normal communication and engagement. In this view, diplomacy is not a sign that competition has ended. It is a tool for keeping competition from turning into something more dangerous. The article presents this as a matter of historical scale. These two countries affect the wider international system because of their economic and strategic weight. And transnational challenges tie everyone else to their choices. So the real question is not whether the rivalry disappears. It is whether both sides can compete and still preserve enough contact to manage climate, trade shocks, and broader risk. That is the narrow but serious promise Burns is making.